Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna here. Basically, we are discussing another topic, that is city creation. In city creation, basically, we are discussing about this file basically. So, this file actually, what is? One of the person basically asked the question, what is this file basically contain? So, this is that file basically which is displaying the entire management basically. So, this is the management basically, and beyond this, there might be some management. If anybody see this file, then he might get some new ideas, or basically it might possible that something basically might have left basically in this thing basically. So now basically we are discussing about one idea basically. This is actually one idea, not idea basically. This is actually hard work also, you can say, by some group basically. So that hard work basically we are going to discuss. India account. India account. Then one of the person told that क्या लिखा है यार basically, what actually this you want to say that basically. This is actually India account. India account means in front of the world basically, each country basically have one account. So in that basically we are discussing this topic. So this is the topic basically. See basically, India account. In India account, what are the things basically containing? In India account, what are the things basically containing? One side is profit, then you can say income. Here's our one side is loss and expense, or you can say like this loss and expense basically. So here basically we are not going to account side or basically nothing side basically. Here it's just simple in English language, or basically in simple language we are trying to explain basically what actually this is, because this is connecting to the management basically. This is connecting to the management directly. So one of the person told that started basically having profit and expense basically. Profit and expense. So here we started things basically calculating. One person told that profit basically is what basically? Profit means faida basically, income basically. So India basically is getting, India account basically is getting money from where basically, and they are basically spending money where. So so here basically we'll start with public income. Public expense. That basically everybody knows what is public expense income. Income means if one normal person is basically having some business, he's the business owner, so his income basically. one person is doing the job, then basically his income. Expense means he basically if have the family, then basically his family expense. If he don't have the family, then his family not with the only his expense basically. Now basically expense basically. 1983 World Cup, 2011 World Cup. Win. World Cup win basically, right? So after seeing this basically the cricketer group got activated. Like Dhoni got activated, then Amarnath group got activated, Kapil Dev group activated. Like this basically they basically started shouting Sunil Armaya. Just taking as an example. And really basically they are not shouted. They told them, "Bhai, ye 2000, that we know that basically now basically we know that basically 1983 was one expense basically, which was basically the money was transferred to the some account basically. That basically we just now basically got the information that there was some expense. But you add that also one of the person basically Amarnath Kapil Dev and group the Amarnath group basically started calculating that basically. Bhai tu wo bhi add kar. 100 buildings created, 100 buildings created from this two World Cup. You add that also basically. Then he told that yes, basically from these 100 buildings, there are few internet data also basically are getting passed. Like banking expense are there. In banking basically when you are doing the Paytm or basically when you are doing the Google Pay, that time basically the data basically which is getting transferred to the banks, no, basically that basically internet basically we have created from these 100 buildings basically. That basically you are not added basically. Oh, then basically you are telling that the expense is only there basically. Like this basically many expense, many income basically are added by this World Cup group basically. Then basically one of the person told that in expense basically it comes GST expense. So one of the person told that GST are basically that is what that is expense actually. And this is income also 18% GST. And in detail basically what is actually GST that I have already explained in previous videos basically. So GST actually what basically? That is basically the tax basically which is given to the central and which is given to the state basically. Then I told that yes, that is basically you can say tax basically you can say, which is deposit, which is expense also and which is income also. That both basically we are going to discuss. One of the person told that the businessman basically, do you know basically the businessman do the expense, businessman do the expense, businessman basically do the expense businessmen do the expenses that as basically the investment basically do the investment that basically government have to give back that money also basically one day. So they basically give slowly the money basically, that is the GST amount basically. From GST amount from 18 percentage public basically gives the money as a GST format. So per day basically what is the income of the GST? So minimum basically might be 1 lakh crore minimum GST amount basically. I am telling minimum GST amount. So GST amount 1 lakh. So from 1 lakh crore basically whatever businessmen basically they are doing the income basically done the expenses basically, for that basically they are paying the money also basically. So businessman basically has done the expense in the form of expense basically, the government basically pays money to businessmen in the form of money basically, in the form of money, whatever transaction basically it might be, whatever currency it might be. So in next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this India account.